No one wants to be outed as a fake natty, but a natural lifter being told that they look like one is quite the amazing compliment. Now, there are many ways to chase that look, but it always starts with two big bowling balls on either side of your face, aka hard-earned boulder shoulders. I've gotten my fair share of fake natty accusations. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I've earned them. When most people go to the gym to train shoulders, they usually beeline it over to the dumbbell section, grab one of the heaviest weights, and just start doing dumbbell shoulder press, which is totally fine. But when we think about building boulder shoulders, the thing that gives us that 3D look is the side and the rear delt being super well developed. So with that said, I like to start with my rear delts first. It really is sad. Rear delts are neglected. People don't like to train them. That's because you don't see them right away. They're on the back side. They're technically the Kevin Jonas of the group, but they're still part of the band and they're an important part. So one of my favorites is the cable face pull. Obviously, there's many ways in which you can do this. I like to hold it with my two fingers like we learned with Phil Heath. We're gonna come out and we're gonna go above the head, hold and squeeze. So my hand, when I'm coming up, is gonna go like this. So palm facing the cable on the way up. So twist, boom, squeeze, control all the way down. When it comes to reps, I like the DiCaprio method, stopping at around 25. You don't have to go all the way to lockout. Stop a little bit shy of the lockout, keep the tension on the delts, and then come right back up. And then from here to here, there's a lot of magic going on, so don't rush it down. Take your time and control it. Make it your bitch. I will usually do around 3 sets here. Rear delts are something you can train hard and often. It's a grower muscle waiting to become a shower. My second favorite rear delt exercise is the cable rear delt fly. So I'm the type of person, I can't really feel the reverse pec deck. I can't really connect with my rear delt as much. So I find this to be a lot easier for me. So I grab the opposite side. It's almost pretty much exactly like a pec deck. You're just using the cable. Squeeze, and then control it back down. You don't want to come all the way, keep some tension, squeeze, and then come back down. It's 25 reps. When training the rear delts, it's never really about the weight. It's more so about the contraction, time under tension, and getting in that burn. Holy fuck, that actually hurt. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, the focus on the rear is always important. That could be the glutes, or in this case, the rear delts. Tip number 2, lateral raise until you can't no more. Lateral raises for your delts are so important. It is critical. And there's so many ways in which you can do it that I encourage you to constantly be switching it up. Use the dumbbells, use the cables, use intensity techniques. So I'm gonna be showing you 2 of my favorites lately. First one being with the dumbbells, 45-degree lateral raises. So we're gonna start 45 degrees out, and you're gonna go 45 degrees over shoulders, and then back down. So I find from here to be junk volume. This is where your delts are resting. So let's just start here, keep the tension on the delts, and really burn it out. It gets very painful. So we just hit failure, we're not done yet. We're gonna go right from there to then going to upright rows. 1, control it down. 2, hold. 3. It is so painful. And because we're starting 45 degrees out, you're gonna have to use a lot less weight. It's not the raise that you deserve, it's the raise you need. And we do 3 sets here. We're only 1 set in, and look at that shoulder pump already. Jeez. I can barely scratch my head. For the upright row, typically people, keep it really close to their body and lead with the elbows high. This one's a little bit different. You're gonna keep the dumbbells a little bit farther away from your body. Here, and try to get to your forehead, hold and squeeze, and then come back down. So when you get to the top, you really wanna just squeeze your rear delts as hard as humanly possible, and then again, as always, control it on the way down. Next exercise, cable lateral raises, kind of like a Y raise, but we're gonna go a little bit wider out. So again, we're gonna grab opposite side, opposite hand. The entire time, you wanna have your arms straight. You don't wanna have them bent at all. We're gonna come up, lean back a bit, control on the way down. Similar to rear delts, when it comes to the side delts, I like to go high reps, at least 12, upwards 20, 25. Tip number 3, go to failure and often. So I'm gonna show you guys a really cool intensity technique that I took from Dr. Mike Israetel that has absolutely changed the game in my shoulder training. And I feel like this tip is my #1 tip in this video, and that's the myo rep match sets. It's pretty much 3 sets. Your first set is gonna be a straight set. We're gonna go to absolute failure, 10 to 20 rep range. Set 2 and set 3, you have to get whatever you get in the first set. And you're basically doing whatever it takes to get there. So let's just say on set 1, I fail at 20 reps. Sets 2 and sets 3, I have to get 20. While I'm in my second set, I might fail at 14. I'm gonna drop the weight, rest around 5 seconds, pick the weight back up, and keep on going until I hit 20 reps. And we're gonna do 3 sets of that. So this is set number 1. This is where I'm setting the standard for the following 2 sets. So we're gonna go to failure right here. So I got 20 reps there. Sets 2 and 3, we gotta get 20. Set number 2, guys, this is where the fun happens, man. This is where it gets so painful that it makes me smile. You kinda have to be a little psychopath to enjoy this shit. Okay, so I got 13, gonna rest 5 seconds, we're gonna pick it up, hopefully do 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo. Success isn't the absence of failure, it's successfully achieving failure. Rear delts are fried, side delts are fried. I train both of those things to failure every single set, every single workout. So now it's time to press, which leads me to tip number 4, is that you don't need to press first every workout. It's kind of like a tequila shot. You can take your lime, you can take your shot and your salt. It doesn't really matter which order you do it, you're gonna feel the burn. Now, the overhead press mainly trains your front delt, a little bit of the side, and hardly any rear. So if we were gonna start with the overhead press as our first exercise, we're pretty much just gonna be hitting our front delt. But now, because we've hit the rear and the side, they will now become the limiting factor, creating much better of a stimulus for all 3 heads of our delts. And another thing, which I know probably a lot of you guys don't wanna hear, you're probably gonna have to go a lot lighter, which is nice on the joints. This is kind of a tip within a tip. I know a lot of people are not gonna like this, but I always recommend at least 1 standing press in your shoulder training routine. If your goal is just strictly getting as big as shoulders as you possibly can, then I think probably the seated is probably better for you. You can probably get more time under tension, more focus on just the delt directly, and less chance of injury. But I find that this is it's just an alpha movement. I enjoy it. It's just athletic as fuck, you know? It builds your upper back. It builds your triceps. If you want a bigger bench, overhead press. You never see a guy with a weak bench that doesn't have a strong overhead press. This is king. I'm gonna show you how to press for maximum gains. Not for strength and power. You're not gonna be pressing as much weight as you possibly can, but you're gonna get the biggest delts you possibly can pressing this way. So I like to hold it slightly outside shoulder width. This allows us for a full range of motion and a good stretch at the bottom. Lean back slightly, not too much. Create a nice shelf. Push up, through, extend, squeeze, control it down. Don't just drop it down, control it down. Control it down. Woo. Tip number 5, shoulders can handle a ton of volume. So I talked about going to failure. How do we get to failure? So that's by using supersets, drop sets, cheat reps, or in this case, something that I love, especially for the side delts, partial reps. So people, you know, when you start doing a rep and you feel like you can't get the whole range of motion, you stop right away. Why? Stay within that burn. Feel that burn. Just stay and start doing partials until you really can't anymore, until you hit literal failure. We're starting to get to the failure point. We're gonna start banging out just like this. This is where shit happens. Tip number 6, always focus on your tempo and your range of motion. Way too many times I see people pressing, and they'll just go here, like that. What are you doing? Sure, it looks good, you have more weight, but I'd rather do 10 great reps than 15 mediocre reps. I'd rather lift way less weight and have bigger delts than lift a ton of weight and looks like I don't even train. I like to have the outside of the dumbbell to the outside of my shoulder. So there, not here, there. Get that stretch. Remember, the motion of the ocean gets the boulder on the shoulder. Fuck me. I'm only using 50 pounds. I just did 10 reps and I'm dying. I don't care. I don't care what people are looking at. I've got big shoulders. I'm happy about it. And remember, the bigger the range of motion, the harder it will be for you to fit through doorways. Isn't that what we all want? Yes. Tip number 7, and I can't believe I'm saying it because I was so against it all along, is to train your front delt. If you want to have elite delts, why would you not train one of the 3 heads, right? It's like, if you want big arms, why would you just train the biceps and not the triceps? I know when you bench press, it's gonna hit it, but you still want to just isolate it even a little bit. So I usually like to end my workouts with a little bit of front delt. You know, the front delt's the first impression delt. You want to lead with a good impression, right? I just like to go alternate 5 reps at a time. Tip number 8, and this is an honorable mention. I know a lot of you guys know I've been doing 100 lateral raises after every single workout. Oh my God, Will, how are you recovering from this? You eventually will. It's not even so much about the weight that you're doing, it's just accumulating fatigue over time, and eventually you'll actually get better at the movement. So when you start to go heavier, you'll just be better and more efficient at it. And then tip number 9, if you guys don't want to work out at all and you're just lazy couch potatoes, tip number 9, just wear an oversized t-shirt. It instantly adds 2 inches to your width. And yeah, don't even work out, oversized t-shirts. And tip number 10, the last and final tip, realize that you don't know and you will never know everything. Learn from others, don't be afraid to learn from others, don't be afraid to be wrong, so take what you learn and apply it to your own training. You'll not ever know anything. You're never too old and you're never too experienced to learn. So don't think that you got it all figured out, because if you do, you're not gonna grow. Now let's go home and cook a meal.
I got what it takes.
Back from the gym, and if we want our shoulders to grow, we gotta eat. So I'm gonna show you how to make chicken sweet potato Thai patties using some leftovers. So I have 200 grams of leftover chicken, we're gonna add into my bowl. I have 250 grams of leftover quinoa, we're gonna add it to the bowl. And then I have 400 grams of cooked sweet potato left over, we're gonna add it to the bowl as well. Now, we are gonna make this Thai chili paste, which is gonna season all of this before we form it into the patties. There is a lot going on here. I know it looks quite intimidating, but it's really not that bad. So we're gonna go in with 4 sprigs green onion, 2 whole shallots, little piece of ginger around, I don't know, 2 centimeters, in a handful of cilantro, and then 2 green chilies, and 1 lemongrass. Now for the liquids, we're gonna add 2 full limes. Get all that juice out, really milk it, drain it dry. Now we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. If you don't know what fish sauce is, don't look it up, you don't wanna know. Bloop. Now we're gonna blend all this up. It's gonna form a nice green paste. In the meantime, while that's blending up, we're gonna evenly incorporate the sweet potato, quinoa, and chicken. Okay, our paste is finito. If you put your it's spicy, so you're not putting this entire thing in here. You're gonna add it to taste. Like, if you do that, that will not be good, okay? So just a little bit, you can save this for the next time you make it. So I like to maybe just go like, probably around like that. Now we're gonna mix it on in with our other stuff. Pan preheated. Now it's time to just form our patties. Make them any size you want. I tend to go towards the bigger side. There we go, you got your first cute little patty. Oh. Probably get like around like 5, I would say. 5 good size. Calories for each individual patty, only 200 calories, 16 grams of protein, 28 grams of carbs, and 2.5 grams of fat. It is freaking delicious. You might smell that stuff and you'd be like, whoa, this is a lot. But once it goes in here and mixes with the other stuff, it adds such a nice like touch and spiciness to it. It is great. Also really good for meal prep. You can prep it for the week. You can freeze it. This is the real deal. Oh my God. It's like a mixture of just like, it's kind of like a falafel vibe. If you like falafels, you're gonna love it. It has a nice little crispy edge, soft and gooey on the inside. I'm gonna enjoy this. My shoulders are fried. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.